Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be talking with you guys today about something that I think is pretty cool. If you haven't noticed by now, I love to talk about the science behind the wellness aspect of life. So, if there's science, I will nerd out and tell you all about it because I fully believe that the more you learn about your body, the more you learn the actual processes. First, you're in complete awe because you can see how wonderfully you're made and all the complexities that are there. And second, your brain actually starts to feel more confident in what's going on in your body. You actually have less fear over what's happening. So you start to feel more confident, more connected to your body. You start to understand, and fear subsides. And we know where there's less fear, that there's less anxiety. And when there's less anxiety, that means less cortisol production. When there's less cortisol production, we know that means decreased inflammation, decreased oxidative stress. So don't take it for granted when you're learning something new about your body. There's all kinds of good things that are going to happen. So let's just take a moment and just be in awe of this. Now, I put on Instagram and Facebook earlier today, what is one of the most important molecules produced in your body? I got a lot of crickets out there because I think everyone was waiting to hear what actually is the most important molecule produced in your body. So when you lose this molecule, it's one of the earliest events that happens that onsets the progression of chronic disease. It's a pretty big deal. As we age, really after 40, so if you're getting near 40 or after 40, you start to lose one of the pathways that your body automatically uses to produce this within your body. And that puts you at risk for those age-related diseases. You could name a ton of them, but any of them, including Alzheimer's, dementia, cardiovascular disease, all of it. This molecule is vital for estrogen. It's vital for your metabolic health, your blood pressure control, your cognitive wellness, fertility and pregnancy, and cardiovascular health. So you need it. I bet you can't wait to hear what it is. I know you're going to be surprised because it's nitric oxide. Ta-da! Okay, let me explain a little bit about nitric oxide and why I think this is so important and so cool. So, dietary nitrate is found in green leafy vegetables and beets. And when we eat it, the bacteria at the back of our tongue starts the conversion process. Now, I have to add, we have to eat slowly here. We cannot eat fast or this doesn't happen. It takes 10 to 20 seconds for that to start happening. And then by changing it to nitrate to nitric oxide, it's broken down and it's converted in our gut in the right environment, and then it's recirculated back to our salivary glands, and that process happens over and over again. And that is just God's given design for protecting us from oxidation after we eat a meal. And it's pretty amazing. But here's why it's important. Let me tell you about nitric oxide. It's a signaling molecule to your body that tells cells how to communicate with one another. When it's created and released by the cells, it's a gas. It quickly and easily penetrates nearby membranes and tells them what to do in less than a second. So that gas is released, less than a second, it might say, arteries, relax, expand, or kill that bacteria, among other things. It gives directions. So it's pretty amazing. So what do you have to do to have good levels of nitric oxide? We've said it's important, but there's going to be things that need to happen for this conversion from the mouth to the stomach for it to actually happen. You have to have normal stomach acid production. You have to have a good balance of the gut microbiome all the way from the oral cavity down to the rectum, and a good consumption of fruits and vegetables. That's the simple version. When any of these things are out of balance, you can convert nitrates to nitrites and then produce nitric oxide. It's just not going to happen if you're out of balance. So how do you do it? First, you need to test and see where you are on your nitric oxide availability within your body, and we're going to talk about that more in a minute. And then you need to start with your diet. Eating a high consumption of dark leafy greens and root vegetables, specifically beets, tremendously improves your nitric oxide levels. Humans require nitrate and nitrite from plant sources in order to make the nitric oxide. You require that to make amino acids. Amino acids make proteins. Proteins make DNA and help you maintain normal metabolism. So do you see where this is headed? Your food really is your medicine. Your food is really what can heal you. Now, if you start adding in dark leafy greens and beets on a daily basis and you still do not see a change in your nitric oxide, it could be because of a gut microbiome problem. So the gut's flora, the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, they're out of balance because of XYZ. There could be a million reasons, but they're out of balance, and that could affect how it's converted. Also, the stomach acidity, when things arrive down the hatch to the stomach and you don't have the appropriate stomach acidity to break it down, it can be a problem. Now, side note, the symptoms of low stomach acidity and high stomach acidity are the same. They're like that heartburny symptoms. So if you feel like, no, this isn't me, my stomach acid's high, then maybe you should think again and possibly not assume that's the case. Because what I see through functional testing is that more likely than not, the stomach is more alkaline than it is acidic. So each time you're swallowing, your saliva reaches your stomach, changing the nitrate in the saliva to nitric oxide, but only if your pH is around or below 4, only. So you need those things to happen. Let me give you a few tips before we get into testing. If you are 40 years old or older, your body's natural production of nitric oxide is depleting rapidly, so you need to be eating well. If you are using antiseptic mouthwash or antibiotics on a regular basis, please stop. You're killing your good bacteria in your mouth that help the nitrite convert to nitric oxide. And then if you're worried about stomach acidity, try taking a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar prior to your meal to help acidify the stomach each time. All right, so if you want to know really where you are, you can test. The good news is you can test this at home and see where you are for under $15. It's amazing. There are nitric oxide indicator strips by Human. I have some here. They're fantastic. There's like 50 of them in a bottle. So you can do all kinds of testing. You just spit a little saliva on your finger and then you dip the end of the strip into the saliva and it's going to turn all shades of pink. So darker is better. That says you have more nitric oxide available. If you're on the lighter pink or white end and you're low, go eat a salad. High in kale, high in spinach. Add some beets in there if you want, and then 90 to 120 minutes later, go do the test again. Go get one of these out again. If nothing changes, then you do not have the right bacteria to convert the nitrite to the nitric oxide. So you may need more comprehensive testing to check on your microbiome or additional supplementation. If you cannot stand the thought of eating beets every day, don't worry. They make a powder that you can camouflage into your smoothies. I will put a link to that in the comments or in the story. So there are options. Make sure that you are getting excited about this because you are holding power in your hands. You should be jumping for joy right now. You have the power to look at one of the leading root causes of illness and see powerful, measurable changes right before your eyes in your home. So I hope this is helpful to you and also spurs you on to eat those veggies just a little bit more. Let me know what other questions you might have about nitric oxide by putting them in the comments. And always, please book a free discovery call to learn about how I can help you get to the bottom of your root cause issues. The things that are really driving some of the symptoms that you're having that are causing you to change your lifestyle, to not live the way that you want to, so that I can help you lead down a path to wellness and feeling good and doing all the things that God has called you to do. So I hope y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.